everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and I've got a process video for you today to reveal the new color challenge at White with One. So this month's challenge is Caramel Latte, which definitely made me wish I had some Starbucks with me while I was making this page. And there's also a mood board with 3 images of what looked to be kind of maybe like leathery pieces and some rope and of course, a latte. So as you can see here, I momentarily forgot what the point of these challenges were, to use white with the color. So you see me adding other colors to the page, and it took me a while to figure out that I was doing it wrong. I think I had a sketch in that I was basing this off of, and I was just very quickly like, okay, there were some brown pieces in this like kit that I had put together using some Simple Stories and crepe paper products, and I'm like, oh yeah, all this goes together. I can use this and this and this, and this I needed the original sketch had 3 2x2 photos, so I only had 2. And so I wanted to get like another small square of something to go in there. So I was like, yeah, this is going to work great. And then I realized, wait a second, green is not a color, so I can't use it. So I do go through and I will, just give me a second. Give me a second, it'll dawn on me. So the sketch that I was actually basing this off of was from, I think, the summer Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. And here I think is where I figured out, because I have little frames here that were sort of a brownish, latte-ish color. And when I pulled them out, they were from the Pinkfresh Studio Days of Splendor collection. And when I pulled them out, I went, oh, wait a second. I picked these specific frames because of the color, and I am not using the color. So I figured it out. But yeah, the color, as I said, was Caramel Latte. And I mean, I've got a dark brown on there mixed with a light brown and kind of like a yellowy brown. But to me, it all kind of just spoke to the brown. And I tried to find pieces that sort of like said caramel to me, that were kind of rich in color. I've got like an animal print down there that's sort of a caramel latte color. And I loved that because these are actually photos of my daughter at the zoo last year. We went to the Bronx Zoo for their Boo at the Zoo event, which was a lot of fun. And they had this, I mean, yes, the animals are out. So the 2 small pictures are pictures of animals. But they also had this sort of like trick-or-treat trail. And there were big candy statues lining the trail. So the picture there is my daughter pretending to lick the lollipop. Lord knows that this is not happening this year, unfortunately, but these were actually photos that I forgot to print last year. So when I was going through my camera, my actual digital camera, I was like, oh, wait a second, I never did these photos. So they're from last October. Since we can't do Boo at the Zoo this year, I'm reliving it by scrapping them, by scrapping last year's photos now. So I kind of have everything where I want it to go. But I felt like I love the white background look, but I really felt like I needed it to be framed, maybe cut down a little bit on the white. So what I'm doing there is I'm taking a piece of, I think it was Simple Stories paper, and I'm just cutting out the inside of it because I really love that pattern. It's a great double-sided pattern paper, and I don't want to cover up all of it on this layout. So I just cut out the middle. I did about like 1 inch in on each side. And so now I have my frame. And then I cut down the white cardstock, which is Bazzill. Just cut it down about, I think, 1/2 inch on each side so that it's still a square. And then I'm just going to adhere it to the frame. I've done that with a lot of papers. It was a technique that I picked up from another YouTuber like 2 years ago. And it was one of those things where I watched her video and I went, oh, good idea. Now, sometimes I have trouble lining things up properly on the frame. It's either like there's too much left over at the top or not enough on the side. And then sometimes I have trouble adhering it. For some reason, I don't know if it's because the white cardstock had been in my desktop organizer, and it had kind of gotten like bent a little bit. But it really was having trouble adhering to the frame. So I had to use a little bit of tacky glue to kind of adhere that. So now I'm just gonna, since I had everything laid out the way I wanted it, now it's time for me to actually glue it down and put everything on the page. So that solid color brown paper is actually from an Echo Park collection. And I think it was like the other side is teal. I can't remember what the collection is called, but it's Echo Park. And they basically just have solid colors, coordinating solid colors, one on each side. So it's really great because you can add them to whatever other collection you're using. Now I did stop the video and I came back because I wanted to get some brown ink just so that I could have kind of a little bit more of the brown color and just sort of make everything pop a little bit more from the page. And that is a technique that I do not do enough of. I think I need to sort of rearrange my scrap space so that my inks and my dabbers are closer at hand, because I feel like sometimes I would think about doing it more often if I could actually see my inks and that kind of thing. So for this one, I'm glad that I did think of it before I continued on. So I'm basically, and this made it a huge mess on my hands, I am basically going to ink like everything. That yellow gold pattern paper, the leopard print, all the photos, the little picture frames, I'm going to ink those as well. And it's just a word of caution. Something, and I'm going to do this after this photo, but once I ink the sides, I usually like to let the photo or whatever it is stay off to the side for a second and like dry, because otherwise I feel like the ink could run a little bit. You could get it on your fingers, or as you're putting on the adhesive, it could get on that, or if you put something that you just inked back onto the layout, it could, you could get ink on your layout. So I like to set the things to the side and just ink everything, all right, and then go back and adhere them. And I actually think inking those small chipboard leaves, it actually got it all over my fingers. So I will have to take another break and go get some baby wipes, which are also a good thing to have on hand in your scrap space, especially if you do some mixed media stuff. Baby wipes. I actually use them mostly to clean the misting spray nozzles after I use them, but I also used it to clean all that Hampton Art brown ink off of my fingers so that I didn't get brown fingerprints on my layout. Although that would have been kind of a cool mixed media effect to have some fingerprints. That's something I should try sometime, I guess. All right, so some of the other elements I'm adding here are the chipboard leaves. I mentioned those before. Those are actually very old creative embellishments. And I could have painted them or done something, embossed them, I don't know. But because of the color scheme for this month, I really felt like just the natural chipboard was so perfect for the caramel latte that just inking the edges a little bit with a little bit of darker brown was enough. So my photos that I've just put down, I have the bigger one, and then one of the smaller ones is actually popped up on foam squares. And then the little photo frame, or the little frame, and the other small photo are flat. So just a little bit of dimension there, just something to kind of make that one photo stand out a little bit more. It's mainly for dimension. It didn't really need to stand out, but mainly for dimension. And then I got one of the little chipboards inside the frame, which is, the inside of the frame is white, but it has like blue ledger lines. So the chipboard leaf is going to cover up that blue because we don't want any blue on the layout. We just want the white and the browns. And that heart is a corduroy heart from the Coco Vanilla Studio Daydream collection. Perfect color for this. I think if anything is like a caramel latte color, maybe that would be it. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much milk or creamer or something you put in your lattes, how like the deepness of the color, I suppose. I actually got a plain latte at Starbucks the other day, but I substitute out regular milk for almond milk, and really the almond milk gives it enough sweetness that it's not so like blah, just like you're just tasting coffee. And it's also cheaper, obviously, than getting some flavor shots or whatever. And I guess it's somewhat healthier that you're not adding like extra syrup or sugar. I guess that's what I tell myself. It was a free latte, so it didn't matter how much I spent, but anyway. I also have some very old little corkboard stickers, I think from Fancy Pants Designs. That was from a fall collection last year. And again, I just felt like they really fit with the color scheme as well. So I've been talking a lot about the color challenge. It's White with One. I'll have the link below. You can upload your take on this challenge in the White with One Facebook group, so it's very easy to participate. And then there'll be a random winner chosen. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to kind of think outside the box. I say this all the time, I'm sure. You're probably sick of it. But yeah, it's just a fun way to work with your stash and kind of see what you have in that fits the color. And especially if you like mixed media, I think it's a great way to use some mixed media, which I will do in just a second here. After I put down that Brave Word is going to be my title, and it's more of a rose gold, but I felt like it still kind of fit with the browns. And then I have some regular gold American Craft stickers there. I'm just gonna put the gear down. Also, just because I pulled them for this layout, so I figured I might as well use them, and I might as well use up some of the numbers because I feel like I always have leftover number stickers. So here's my mixed media part. It's with the Nuvo Mica Mist. I think it's in like vintage or something. It's a goldy type of color. So just a little bit of mixed media there. You'll see it a little bit better in the close-ups that are going to follow. Thank you so much for watching today. And like I said, follow me in the links below. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and then come submit your layout at the White with One website. Link is below. All right, happy scrapping, guys. Bye.